homoerotic passion pageant by Kristy Lin Billuni.
Yes.
Place, the United States.
Time, 1903 to 1908. Cast of characters.
Ted Roosevelt, President of the United States and an outdoorsman, 45 years old.
John Muir, well-known botanist and conservationist, 65 years old.
Trees, an ensemble of at least 3 diverse, living, breathing trees, age sapling to old growth.
Trees hold up the sky. They control the lightning, the sun, the moon, and the stars. They can see everything on stage. Maybe everywhere. John and Ted know nothing about the trees. Both speak to and observe trees and other nature around them, but only as believers speak to their gods.
Scene 1, Ted. Setting, March 1903, the Oval Office, Washington, D.C. Trees stand outside. Magnolia grandiflora dotted the White House lawn at this time. These trees' enormous white flowers bloom in the spring. Like trees everywhere, these trees just want Ted to stop what he's doing long enough to take in their opulence and fulfill his stewardship duties. But he never does. He spends all his time indoors, playing with paper, which is creepy to trees. So they are accustomed to ignoring him. At Rise, Ted is writing a letter at his desk.
Dear John, no, too informal. Dear John Muir, March 27, 1903. Don't hesitate, Ted. Tell the man what you want. I would like to invite you to dinner at the White House. No. I would like... What else would I like? I'd like to do something remarkable, unprecedented. In 1903. How will they see me in 150 years? Strong? Wise, foolish. Sometimes I just want to stop.
Trees respond to the word stop. Ted regards the trees.
What if I listened, smelled the magnolia blossoms?
Trees are interested now. Ted gets up, goes to window, closer to trees.
What if I stood absolutely still, like a tree?
Trees move in closer, full of joy and surprise.
Maybe something magical is about to happen.
Ted senses it too, a sort of uninvited intimacy he can't put his finger on. It's uncomfortable.
It's probably indigestion. The main thing is progress. What we cannot do is rest, overthink. I can't even nap. This is America, a nation in motion. That's what we do. Expand. Dominate.
This is why trees don't even try. Humans are so misled.
I can't just stand here like a tree.
What a letdown for trees.
There are certain pressures. Nobody knows the real me. How deep I am. Emotional, sensitive. They don't know how much I care.
Trees have had enough. Third tree throws a blossom at Ted's face. It sticks like an attacked jellyfish. This stops Ted. He lets the flower remain on his face for several beats, smelling, pondering. This interests the trees, and they move in close again. Now Ted's voice is muffled by the flower.
Intoxicating. Lemons, gardenias, a flower as big as my head.
At last, Ted removes the flower from his face and looks around. Did anyone see? Where did that flower come from? Is this some sort of gag? Ted contemplates the flower again.
I can't sit admiring flowers all day. When great men don't know what to do, we don't ask trees. We ask other great men. Men like Muir. I'll do much better than the White House. What's the name of that park he's so worried about?
A rifles through papers. A tree helps.
Oh, here it is. Yosemite, the West. I'm going to Yosemite. I look great in a cowboy hat. I need men like John Muir around me, not these pathetic creatures we call Congress. So unpleasant, divided, fighting all the time. Impossible to get anything done. I need the best guide in the world. When I think of what we could do together, John, I feel like a locked drawer overturned, like classified documents scattered in the wind. They say you talk to trees. What do the trees say to you? Dear Johnmuir, please come to Yosemite. I want to drop politics absolutely and be alone with you in the forest. Sincerely, Ted Roosevelt.
Ted signs with a flourish, folds letter, and seals envelope with wax. Trees are astonished. Something special is happening.
They assist, snatch up the invitation, and deliver it. Lights up on John, opening invitation and springing into action, packing lightly and setting out on foot.
Scene 2, The Valley. Setting, May 15th, 1903. A trailhead in Yosemite Valley. The valley is beyond picturesque even today, surrounded by the glittering Sierra Mountains and lush with trees. Trees have an idea to disguise themselves in human drag, supposing that as people, they can influence John and Ted to stop, listen, and appreciate nature's beauty. This historic gathering included at least a dozen state and local officials who showed up to network with Ted, plus a curious community out for a glimpse of the two famous men, plus a press corps and Ted's entourage.
At Rise, trees are busy arranging their drag attire. Clothing, walking, and speaking are all awkward and funny. When one of them sees John coming, they alert others and all exit in a hurry.
Enter John, who has walked the entire 200 miles from his home in Martinez, California. John is unabashed about engaging with nature. Without warning, he may flop on his belly to speak to a lizard, shake his fists at the sky, or lean in close to pet a rock. At present, he plays with a dandelion gone to seed.
Wish I might, wish I may, influence the president today. Oh, common dandelion, should I call you by your book name? Taraxacum. Grant me this. I wish the president to bend like your fragile stem. Then you'll have a president on your side, and I won't have to worry about you so much. Who would believe Ted Roosevelt wrote a letter like that? Passionate, sincere. It made me feel like holding still, like standing in the shade of a magnolia grandiflora on the White House lawn.
Enter Ted with an entourage of trees whose completed look screams dignitaries and officials. Although John and Ted can now see the trees in their drag personas, John does not notice them yet.
Mr. President.
I'll give him the Johnmuir tour. If you let go completely, your beard will turn to moss, your fingers to delicate needle tips, sweeping like a lovely ponderosa. Your heart will open like a dogwood blossom.
Yosemite at last, I can breathe. Glorious. What an idea I had to come here. Now where's Muir?
Welcome to Yosemite, Mr. President, land of nutritious minerals and delicious stagnant ponds.
Third tree is the weak link in this drag trio.
They just don't pass as well as first and second trees do.
Mr. Muir will arrive soon. Let's sit and wait for him together. Look, here are refreshments.
I see you, chickadee in the juniper.
I wrote to the man that we'd hike alone.
Dignitaries prefer not to hike, don't they?
Prefer not to hike? Office lilies. That's what's wrong with America. Men need rugged outdoors, danger, adventure, or we go soft.
Soft things are so nice. Let's stop here and lie down in the soft meadow grass.
John frolics on. He is captivated by Yosemite.
I'm back, meadow lilies. I'm home, ground squirrels. The president might fall in love with you, sequoia. Stars have aligned, deer are grazing, snow is melting.
Trees stay between John and Ted, so they don't meet yet. John notices trees for the first time.
Who in heaven's name are you? Walk 200 miles for trees, not men.
Aren't you here to meet the president?
Yes, but the trees invite... Well, I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Ted seems determined to get moving. Time for Trees to try the camera and press badges.
Halt! We are the press.
There should be much fuss over 1903 camera equipment and arrangement of men for photos.
Stand still for photographs.
They are all posing near a giant fallen sequoia, a famous photograph. John and Ted squirm like kids on school picture day.
Trees play journalists and dignitaries, shooting photos and taking turns posing with John and Ted, who still haven't met yet.
Mr. President, could you smile?
I am smiling!
Photograph pops.
Mr. Muir, could you uncross your arms, please?
Just as soon as this cricket's done with them.
Photograph pops.
Pose breaks up.
Now what? Am I supposed to elbow my way through this entourage?
Young man, stop right there.
Trees stop in astonishment. This is what they like to hear.
I'm not here for photographers or politics. This is my camping trip.
So you want to pause?
Relax, gaze up into the trees.
The stars!
Just the two of you, man to man?
Yes, with Muir, do you understand me?
If you want to admire a tree, Mr. President, admire a tree.
If you want, you can cuddle into my roots, inhale my sweet breath.
Gentlemen, it's getting dark. Time to go, time to feast.
Yes, I am eager to try photosynthesis with teeth.
Trees move to exit. John and Ted finally come face to face.
Johnmuir, Ted Roosevelt.
I know who you are, Mr. President.
Ted indicates shh to John, scans for dignitaries, and leads John to exit.
Scene 3, the Grove. Setting, a clearing in Mariposa Grove. Sunset the same night. Mariposa Grove is a dense redwood forest, lush with ferns. There was a big gibbous moon that night. At rise, trees set up a sweet camping spot with a sunset vibe. Skyscraper tall sequoias dominate this grove. The reddish trunks and delicate needles create the effect of a stained glass cathedral. Maybe trees can get John and Ted to stop and gaze up into their branches.
Enter John and Ted at a trot, laughing, then suddenly taken with the lovely campsite.
Is this a dream?
As a matter of fact,
You set up all of this?
it wasn't easy, but
This annoys trees. They did all the work.
Perfect spot. Sequoia, my favorite.
gave him the slip. Believe me, I know how to handle uninvited reporters and dignitaries. I came here for you, for trees, to stand at the very edge of American civilization. Look at me, first man ever to set foot here, or here.
You're passionate.
Yes, John, I am.
Read your books.
Read yours too.
Ted is staring. John squirms.
Sorry, I just can't believe it's you, the John Muir. I bet there's no mountain you haven't climbed.
Ted gets to work building a fire.
Still a few on my list.
Where would you go if you could go anywhere? I know you missed a trip to Europe to be here. We can go together. I've always wanted to see
Ted lights the fire to the trees. This is vulgar. They tolerated it because John and Ted might hold still once they get the fire burning.
You don't have to do that. Here, let me...
I invited you, John.
Fine.
John gives Ted space.
A good fire built well can burn all night.
John cannot leave it alone.
I think you need more kindling.
I know, but first, these need to form a pyramid.
Fire comes to life. Ted gets between John and the fire. Burns a finger.
Ah, Mr. President, please, it's hot.
God damn it, I'm not a girl. I know how to build a fire.
Sorry. Let's see that hand. Did you burn it?
It's fine.
Trees offer a tiny apothecary jar to John. They wish the men would just settle down already.
Got this balm the missus makes me, comfrey. If we put it on now, you'll forget it ever happened.
John takes Ted's hand and rubs it. Ted softens.
I know your intentions here, Muir. And I don't need convincing.
You don't?
I'll do whatever you think I should do about wildlands.
Trees are getting ready to serve gin, annoyed at men who won't sit still.
I thought this whole thing would be about protecting Yosemite.
It's not about that at all.
John whoops, starts smacking his knees.
It's something else entirely, something much bigger. It's why I wanted to meet you, John. I feel destined for something I can't define, but I think you hold a key.
John is dancing.
Federal protection for all Yosemite!
Yosemite and whatever else you say. Make a list. I'll do it.
Trees serve gin. Their gin is strong. They know the juniper after all. They expect the gin to stop John and Ted, or at least slow them down.
Cause to celebrate!
John pulls at Ted to join him.
A proper campout.
John dances seductively. Ted resists, thinks it's silly.
A toast then.
To American heroes.
To the trees!
Trees like recognition, and they like to dance.
Forest volume increases. Wind, birds, crickets, a lone wolf call.
Ted finally gives in too. For a lovely moment, there was a little dance party around the fire.
To you, John.
John and Ted are seriously getting down on the dance floor now.
To the President of the United States, I want to see you shimmy like an aspen in the breeze.
I want adventure.
Ted, excited, putting himself together, boots, walking stick, hat. He hands John his hat.
Let's tread where no man has before. We might get lost.
There's always hope.
I like your sense of humor.
Ted drags John out of the clearing. Disappointed trees put out fire and clean up camp. Darkness.
We hear marching and voices, but can't see John or Ted. Trees rush to create another tempting camping spot.
Marching sounds stop abruptly. John and Ted gasp. They see something.
What is it?
Who? Maybe. Hard to say. Eyes like that?
Rustling. It's gone. John and Ted come back into view, hiking along merrily.
There is a bird call. Ted listens, chin in the air.
Wicked woodpecker. Cat calling us.
Bird call repeats.
If that's a woodpecker, I'm the king of Siam.
John shrugs. Birds trill again.
It's an American robin, and you know it. You're playing with me.
Hairy woodpecker sounds a lot like that, too.
Harry Woodpecker? You call yourself an outdoorsman? Don't even know your bird calls.
John and Ted hike right past the lovely tableau the trees have made.
Now this is a very civilized little trail. Who do you suppose made it?
Bear, maybe?
Not Indians?
You're the one called it civilized.
Both laugh. Trees pose enticingly, a spot with a view for the two men to sit and talk. Ted takes the bait, sits.
How's that hand?
John sits too, just where the trees wanted him. Trees are pleased. John takes Ted's hand.
Hand?
You burned it.
Healed? Like magic. This whole night.
It's dawn.
Is it morning already?
Sky says so.
We didn't sleep or eat.
I find the colors of sunrise nourishing. Don't need much else.
They are still holding hands.
There is something more I need.
Yes?
You too, I think. Something more from this extraordinary meeting.
I once met a man in the woods who
Yes?
unburdened himself of expectations in order to feel completely
Free,
Yes,
and this freedom,
is all around us, flows through us.
and you have tasted this freedom?
John is not ready to answer this question. Takes back his hands.
John, looking into those eyes in the darkness, I
Yeah.
saw myself.
Sunrise is stunning. They watch in silence.
Do you see that?
Ted is up suddenly.
The sun?
No, that rock.
Ted is on the move again.
Want to climb it?
John chases Ted. Trees are foiled again.
Climb to the sun?
No, you're a rock. It's Glacier Point.
Scene 4, The Point, Part 1. Setting, midday, a bleak, high-altitude trail with snowdrifts approaching Glacier Point. This is more than 7,000 feet above Mariposa Grove, a radically different climate covered in snow of May of 1903. John and Ted have been on the move all night. Their cozy campfire failed, so Trees will now resort to threats and fear. John and Ted want adventure? Trees will give them adventure. Maybe then they will be still, listen, feel their feelings, connect with one another.
At Rise, trees costume themselves lavishly as a snowstorm. One tree notices John and Ted approaching, alerts others. Enter John and Ted, soaked from hiking in snow, moving with difficulty uphill and against the wind.
Oh, wetter than predicted.
What's that?
I should have thought to warn you.
You said?
Snowdrifts are treacherous.
No, I love it. The chance to show off my valor.
This offends Trees. They sack Ted, throwing him into a snowdrift. He recovers joyfully.
I'm an American Rough Rider. I can face a snow flurry in California.
These are much more than flurries.
I trained my whole life to get tossed around by her.
She is a wild one. Listen, the trick to snowdrifts.
Trees sack John, who falls buried. Ted digs him out, both laughing as John reappears.
The trick is there is no trick. Let's run away with her.
Already have. Can't you feel it?
Yes, I can.
What does it feel like?
Like...
Trees tackle Ted.
Ted?
There is no sign of Ted. John speaks to Trees.
He's going to protect you. He can do that. I thought that's what you wanted.
Trees are not pleased. They knock John down.
He saw his own face in the moon last night. What more do you need?
John tries to get up, but Trees hold him down.
You'll kill him. Eat him alive. We're on our knees.
Trees push John into the snowdrift. Ted is alone.
Am I flying? Am I dead? If I'm dead, Johnmuir is in a lot of trouble.
Trees close in.
No, I'm just small, inside a glittering snowflake.
Ted!
Trees push Ted around.
Please, I'm sorry. I'll do anything.
Trees beat Ted.
I promise.
Ted and John burst suddenly from snowdrifts, crashed into each other. Trees calm the storm and watch with interest.
Did it work?
Ted! There you are. You're safe. I'm here.
It's so cold.
You're shaking.
John holds Ted.
Listen, John. If I die here, I made a promise.
Nobody is dying, Ted.
John comforts Ted. It is uncomfortable.
Look at you with a wildflower in your beard.
Hello, little Mariposa lily. Where did you come from?
A gift from the mountain.
They are up.
You may be new to snowdrifts, Ted, But you're an ace with that spade.
They are walking again. Bird song.
Now that's a hairy woodpecker.
And an expert birder, most of the time, definitely an American robin.
A woodpecker.
Robin, look how far we've climbed.
Dusk. John and Ted have reached the summit. The view is stunning.
It overlooks all of Yosemite Valley and several dramatic waterfalls.
John and Ted are silent for a while.
John, have you ever paused to ask yourself what progress really means?
Sounds like you spoke to the trees.
I saw bald eagles in the White House rafters, mandrakes uprooting our cities. A president should climb mountains. He should talk to the stars. My cheeks sprouted mushrooms. My heart burst like a pine cone on fire. We are absolute villains.
Marauders, invaders, even the best of us destroy whatever we touch.
That's not right. How can it be? We are nature lovers. I am a rough rider. You are a naturalist. American heroes.
All contemplate.
What if we just
Listen.
appreciate?
Yes, Ted.
I don't think I can.
You don't have to do it alone.
They return to the view a while. Finally, Ted throws his hat in the air and howls triumphantly. They watch as light changes. Sunset. They touch. Lights fade to black.